Hello, and thank you for checking out the latest LAAGCast. It is September 20th, 2018, and me and my co-host here, Sam Richards, are planning to bring you an excellent show. How you doing,
Hello.
Sam?
I'm doing well. How are you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. Not too much to check in with since we're recording just a day after recording our last episode, so things haven't changed too much for me. Anything for you?
Not too much. Has it really only been a day?
It's really only been a day. I can't believe it either. Although there will be some delay magic on our uploads that'll make it feel longer for our listeners, I'm sure.
Yeah, probably.
Anyway, we haven't had much time to play any other games between now and then, so no gaming check-in specifically needed. I did play a little Super Mario World 2 on the retro SNES console the other day, but
Nice.
just a couple levels on the lark.
Yeah.
So I guess we can get right into the TV. So yes, between yesterday and today, we watched two things.
Two things, yeah. We watched Venture Bros, the new episode, and the new episode of It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
All right, which one would you like to hit first?
Well, we watched Venture Bros first, so let's go with Venture Bros.
All right, so that was a real interesting episode of Venture Bros. Made extra interesting, I must say, because as we are watching on Amazon Prime, it was surprisingly completely uncensored.
That's true. I didn't even think about that.
Yeah, I mean, we've heard the F-bomb a couple of times on that show before, but this is definitely the first time we've got full nipple.
Yeah, that's actually a very good point.
Yeah, absolutely. So that was weird.
That was weird.
And they did a good job hiding exactly what was happening in this episode until the very end.
Yeah, that is true.
The disgusting, disgusting end.
Yeah.
But let's rewind a little bit. So we start off with a very fun sequence of a teleportation invention being created by Dr. Venture. Definitely his greatest invention.
It's amazing.
Yeah, it's fantastic. Like it doesn't, unless they reveal later that he found the notes in his brother's thing, or
I could so see that happening.
Right,
because
eventually.
There was a teleportation device, I believe, mentioned by his brother in an earlier episode.
Yeah, so they may yet peel that achievement away from him. But for now, it is definitely his greatest achievement, which is immediately overrun by the most hilarious Conspiracy 101, the government's going to show up and shut down anything you do if you make something too amazing just to maintain the status quo sequence.
Yeah, but we do see that everybody is after the teleportation device.
Everyone is after... Yeah, we get a whole... every time they introduce a whole team of new characters, they do such a good job of introducing a bunch of guys very quickly, and you get their deal. Definitely assisted by the fact that I checked, and it was Mark Hamill lending his voice to a couple of characters on that episode.
Awesome. And it's cool because they threw in a few old characters as well that you didn't really know about, so it quickly fleshes them out. It's just great how they do that. The previously unnamed.com, the woman of the group, was she's spoken in several episodes briefly as just a group of villains, no names.
So they're pulling background characters out and fleshing them out.
Yeah.
Yeah, and what was the guy at the beginning?
Tiny Eagle.
Tiny Eagle. Have we seen him before? Because as soon as he showed up, you were like, Tiny Eagle?
I don't believe we ever have seen him, but he's been mentioned.
Really?
Yeah, way early on in the show.
Oh, fantastic. Yeah, he was great, and the multiple man guy was hilarious with his copycat with his whole slick 50s man thing and the way he talked.
It was in last season, so it's good that we were able to get some more of him because, he's hilarious.
Yeah, fantastic. Again, a Hank and Dean free episode.
Yeah, which is interesting.
Zeroing in more and more on the idea of Dr. Venture and the Monarch being the actual Venture brothers of the show.
Yeah, true.
Sergeant Hatred continues to be a one-note joke with nothing to do and no worthy jokes about him.
Yeah, he's just kind of there.
They even kind of just cast him off with a line from one of the villains in this episode, Sergeant whatever. They use some insulting name as he rolls out of the way. But, the only real fault I can lay against him is the fact that that character needs to just go.
Yeah, that's true. They're just keeping them around for no reason.
And I can't believe that there were no like fly effects for the pirate guy when he tested the teleport. I mean, I know the teleporter worked and we saw it work multiple times, but I was waiting for that second ending to be like him realizing he's growing some little wings or something.
That would have been good.
But yeah, I guess I had to be sated by seeing that one apple that had many fly parts.
Yeah, those apples were cool. I like the completely square apple.
Right, and there was one that was like a liquid, right? It was just kind of like cupped in the container.
Yeah.
So, fantastic. Anything else noteworthy that you remember? Just the weird, all the Dr. Venture sequences with the eyes wide shut orgy thing happening. With many familiar characters behind the masks.
Behind masks.
Yeah.
Which, that was fun. It had me going.
Yeah, so no real complaints. Another A+ episode, episode 7. Yeah. So we are, once again, rapidly zeroing in on the edge. And there was no advancement of the Peril Partnership plot, right?
Nope.
Yeah.
Yeah, they might have finished that little bit.
You think so? Like, just that was it? Like, they have an infiltrator, and no way. You can't convince me that plot is done for.
Okay, I mean, like, for the season.
Oh, they can't be seeding it that slowly, please.
They love seeding things slowly. It's
the
Venture Bros.
Oh, man.
We'll find out in 6 years.
But would they have it be so prominent so far if they were really going to do that?
That is true. It's not just a little...
It's like either too little or too much. Because like it's so focused on in a couple episodes that oh man, I hope it's not setting up that. Like we got to get something else that's at least a cliffhanger going into the next season.
Okay, yeah, we'll probably see at least one other thing to do with the Peril Partnership.
I hope so. So this episode is obviously a recommend.
Oh yeah.
All right, so next on our watch list was, of course, the new Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
Gang Beats Boggs.
Gang Beats Boggs. 2?
Female edition.
Female edition.
I believe that's what it was called. Something along those lines, at least.
So it was an Always Sunny style remake of the earlier episode, The Gang Beats Boggs.
Oh, it was female reboot.
Female reboot. That's what it is, of course.
Or women's reboot, probably. Female is... not usually used when discussing humans. I should refrain from doing that. Women's reboot.
Right. We're not Ferengi. Human females.
Yeah, exactly. That's why I've been watching Deep Space Nine, and so now I'm thinking females. Humans.
Anyway.
Yeah, Always Sunny.
I thought this was easily the best episode of this young season. Lots of laughs.
Lots of laughs. I mean, this one was hitting hard. It was... sure, they're doing something that they've done before, but they're pulling in working from the bench, pulling in the B cast, and it works.
Yeah, they really went deep. I really had no idea who was going to be the one woman in first class.
I know.
And that was a good reveal. They laid some pretty solid hits at the idea of just remaking men's things as women's, because that's not what should be. Like, Artemis was really the voice of reason for sure throughout this episode.
Oh yeah, she wasn't having any of that ridiculousness.
Right, do our own shit, was the constant refrain. And she was great. Waitress was always funny because she's like so funny at playing a drunk on television.
Yeah, she's really good at that.
Like, does Always Sunny have the best woman drunk actors between her and Dee? Like, when you really think about it, like, who's a funnier drunk in any comedy that we watch, at least?
Yeah.
I mean...
it's true.
Like, they keep saying throughout the episode that when women drink, it's sad, but they manage to turn the corner on that, I think. Like, right. They make it funny.
Well, both characters just get so dirty when they're drunk.
Which is realistic for both sexes.
That's true. And
I didn't see the cameo from the previous episode coming, and when it arrives, it hits with a bang, and you're like, "Whoa, really?"
Frank's here too.
Just for a minute, just for a quick cameo. Just Bill Murray driving by in a cat taxi or whatever happens in the new Ghostbusters. I don't know. I didn't see it.
Not me either.
But Mac and Charlie's moms, as always, are A+ cast additions anytime they show up. And once again, it's one of those things where once you create the world and the characters, the situations just kind of write themselves.
Right, naturally resolves of its own volition.
Right, and I feel like this episode was much stronger in terms of, like, you could watch this episode as, like, one of the earlier episodes you watched, and you'd be like, okay, these are funny characters, this is a funny situation, now I want to go see the first episode where the guys did this.
Yeah, I can agree with that. I mean, you could just jump right into this episode and be all like, this is It's Always Sunny in a nutshell, and it would still work, even without the main cast being there for the entire show.
Right, no Dennis.
No Dennis.
Charlie and Mac appear only on a blurry cell phone for like a minute.
Yeah. And the connection, you can't even hear what they're saying.
At all.
Like nothing.
But we know what they're saying. It's just like with the Dennis doll thing. Like, we know they're saying they couldn't do it. They couldn't do what we did. You know?
Right, they're bashing me for trying to do the Boggs thing.
So, yeah. Anything else funny you want to mention that happened?
No, it's an A+ episode. Like you said, both Max and Charlie's moms were hilarious. And all the other characters were too. And we got to see the Guigino's waiter guy again, which is always hilarious because he's just showing up in the most random places.
And they really gave him a win in this episode. Like, he comparatively did not take much crap from Dee and then got the last laugh by far.
That is very true. He did get the last laugh, even though she called him a soy boy cuck.
Soy boy beta cuck?
But beta cuck.
Yeah,
Yes.
the perfect encapsulation of millennial insults.
Oh, yeah. I mean, yeah, no, very well done.
Very well done.
A+.
Recommend, for sure.
Oh, yeah.
All right, so we are moving right along. Are we recording? Yeah, we're recording. Sorry. Just got nervous because things look different on the screen. It makes me nervous.
Right.
Yeah, I didn't watch anything else. So, shall we move on to a couple character rankings?
Yeah, sounds good.
All right.
Star Trek.
Cruising right along this episode, guys. So, we deliberated a little before we came up with this list. We're running low on characters. I think we're going to definitely be having to wrap up this segment soon. We'll see what we decide to replace it with. We've thrown in a few ideas. Final Fantasy characters, I think, is a pretty popular one for us. Anime characters
is good.
And pretty expansive. Like, we could be hitting that list for a long time.
Yeah. And I did just recently watch some of the best old animes. I watched Trigun and Cowboy Bebop, and those are just full of great characters.
That's true. The list wouldn't be too crazy because it would just be best character, or rank the characters of the animes that we've watched.
Right, which isn't too many.
Yeah, a solid chunk.
Yeah.
Even something else that might be a little shorter might be more fun to break up. Something like Always Sunny characters. That's a deep cast.
Yeah, but they're all so good.
Yeah, Venture Brothers characters, like all the stuff that we hit tends to have a pretty solid character deck.
Yeah, that's true.
Transformers could be fun to do at some point.
At some point.
Down the road.
Yeah, when I know more Transformers characters.
Yeah, after I've made you read all of More Than Meets the Eye.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's the good shit. More Than Meets the Eye.
Yeah, otherwise, I'm just drawing off the old cartoons.
Which, that's part of it too, man. When you rank a character, you have to rank the entirety of the character. We have to rank crappy Starscream from the movies, like the live-action Michael Bay movies, against excellent Starscream from the comics and show. So everything factors in.
Do Optimus and Optimus Primal count as the same Optimus?
Not a chance. They're specifically different characters because Optimus meets Optimus Primal.
Do they?
Or, I'm sorry, the other way around, when they find the crashed Ark and put his spark into him, and he gets the spark of regular Optimus, and it makes him Optimal Optimus.
Oh, right. That is how that goes, huh?
Yeah. In that super cool sequence where we actually get to see the classic Autobots, but animated in the Beast Wars style, while they're all just passed out on the ship, waiting a million years to be resurrected when that volcano explodes in 1984.
Wow. I should really watch that show again.
It's not one where you need to watch every episode. It's definitely one where you kind of want to hit the beginning extended sequential episode. I think it's 4 or 5 episodes that starts the show, and then you cherry pick.
That's fair.
It's a lot of filler.
Makes sense.
Anyway, moving on back to character rankings. So we decided to pull out 3 of the villains.
Yes, villains.
Villains that we haven't ranked yet. So this should be a fairly fun list. Let's start with, I think, the least interesting character that we'll talk about, and that is Seska.
Seska.
Who could be considered one of the main antagonists on DS9.
Yeah, which is too bad, because she doesn't show up that often.
Right.
They completely deal with her, by the time Season 4 is over.
The best Seska episode is an episode she doesn't technically appear in, which is the one where they find like the booby trap that she left in the holodeck.
Oh yeah, no, that's by far the best one.
So yeah, and then the like she's acted fine, but she's so one note and just not interesting. The fact that she's so integrated with Chakotay's story, and Chakotay's the least interesting character on Voyager besides Cass.
Yeah, that's true.
It's yeah, her batting average isn't going to be high. So Seska is far less entertaining than most of the characters on this list to me. So much like yesterday, I'm scrolling down.
Yeah, I'd say so.
Because I mean, when it comes down to it, I can't like Seska more than T'Pol.
No, not more than T'Pol. Can you like Seska more than Chakotay though?
I don't think you can.
Yeah. I mean, Chakotay is bland 90% of the time, but he does have a couple cool moments.
A couple.
Yeah.
Right. Especially if it's not about him. If he's just co-acting or, helping out with something.
Right. He's telling somebody an interesting story to help them deal with their shit.
Right.
That's top Chakotay. I think he might be pretty okay in the episode where he is forced to fight in Alien Arena. It's been a while since I've watched that one.
Yeah, I am probably going to go through Voyager again pretty soon, but I doubt that will change any of these rankings.
But I like Chakotay more than Seska.
Yeah, I'd say so. Let's scroll down a couple areas because I think I like Mayweather better. I think when it comes down to it, way at the bottom of our list here at number 71. Is the line of totally bland character.
That's true.
If you're below Mayweather, I hate you. Basically.
Yeah.
I don't want to see an episode of Badger even if there's redeeming qualities like Shakar, like Bareil, like Kess.
Okay, yeah, that's a good point. That being the case, I think right below Mayweather is the perfect place for Seska.
She is more interesting than Shakar.
Yeah.
Yes, agreed. So that is number 72 on our list. Next up, let's rank an interesting one. Much like the Borg Queen, this character is both a singular entity and also representative of the entire race. And that's going to be the female changeling / the race of changelings, the primary antagonist of...
Ah, yes.
I mean, are they or the Cardassians the primary antagonist of Deep Space Nine?
I'd say it's the Cardassians. Just because in the end the Dominion is helping the Cardassians, and then there's also the Dukat thing. He's doing his own thing as evil as well.
Right.
And so the Cardassians take up both plot lines of evil.
Right. The changelings are basically just the end point of Odo's plot line at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Yeah. If, not the Dominion, but the changeling specifically.
Right.
The main changeling lady, played by Salome Jens, is a fairly interesting character. They're interesting villains because they're totally taking another angle on the Borg thing, where the Borg don't care about anything because they think they're better than you, so they're very dismissive, whereas the changelings feel like they're better than you, so they want to control everything about you. It's much more intrinsically insidious than the Borg when you think about it.
Yeah.
The Borg are emotionless with the Dominion, actively discriminate against all races. They're intensely xenophobic.
Yeah, and the Borg, they want to add you to them. They don't just want to control you so that you can never hurt them.
Right, the Dominion wants to dominate.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, she's a fairly interesting character whenever she shows up, and
she's good.
A lot of the weirdest stuff on DS9 is going on because she's around. So, I'm looking at the list right around Lore at number 63.
And I think she's better than Lore.
Even better than Pulaski? Do we have to fire up the list a little bit?
Yeah, she's better than Pulaski.
All right, let's go up the list a little bit. Let's head up to number 53, Vic Fontaine.
I like Vic better.
What about Gowron right below Vic?
I like Gowron better.
I think I like Gowron better. All right, what about Gabriel Lorca from Discovery? I like Lorca better.
Yeah, I like Lorca better.
Okay. Below Lorca is Ash Tyler, who I don't like more.
I agree with that.
Yeah, okay, so right at number 56, we're going to go changelings / female changeling. All right. Last on the list is a character who I've actually been kind of excited to talk about, which is the other primary singular antagonist of Deep Space Nine, and that is Win Adami, Kai Winn.
Kai Winn.
Played excellently by, oh gosh, I feel so bad. I know her name and I can't think of it. But she's from One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. And it's fantastic. Louise Fletcher, of course. Just wonderful. Just the way she plays like one of the best evil politicians on any show ever, because she's so able to turn any conversation she's having into her talking down to you and like sounding very sweet and innocent and even smiling while she delivers just like a terrible haymaker to whatever thing that you said to her in conversation in an attempt to twist it her way. Just totally insidious.
That's true.
She totally is responsible for all the bad stuff that happens at the end of Deep Space Nine when she stops the reckoning from taking place.
Oh, yeah.
And basically, destroys all the prophecy of what was going to happen and totally threw the future into chaos.
Yeah.
And is a terrible religious leader for the Bajorans, because she clearly, even if she does believe in the prophets and that whole thing, which I think she does throughout, she has it so twisted into her own like personal thing where she believes that because she thinks her faith is the purest, she should be in charge of everything.
Right, and whatever she does is, it's okay. It's her right as, somebody who believes in the prophets so heavily. Anything that she does must be guided by the prophets.
Right, exactly. She can't even imagine a universe where the decisions that she's making aren't the decisions that the prophets want to be happening.
Exactly.
Just the worst kind of religious leader / politician.
Yeah.
I think she's a fantastic character. I think that she's second in my list of DS9 villains after Gul Dukat, for sure.
Yeah, that's true. I feel like she saved Jake's life when she stopped the reckoning, though.
She 100% saved Jake's life because Jake 100% was going to die because he was and that's why he was chosen, because the Paw-Wraith knew that would be the most devastating person he could possess on the station.
Right, and the prophet said that there would have to be a price for what Sisko does when he flies into the wormhole and gets the prophets to stop all the Jem'Hadar ships.
Right,
and it's the prophet who's speaking with Jake's image that says there's going to be a price, and then the rapture happens.
Oh, I've never noticed that.
And the Paw-Wraith gets Jake. And I always thought that was like it had to happen this way because of those events.
Yeah, it's interesting because I was doing a little checking online, and it seems like most people interpret that sequence when the prophets are saying there's going to be a price as referring to Sisko having to join with the prophets and leave his family at the end of the series. And I just think that's a crazy read because it's obvious that there was a prophecy and a set of events that were going to happen in place, and it was going to happen that way. And the prophets knew it was going to happen that way because they're aliens that exist outside of time. Yeah. And everything got thrown out of whack, and everything that happened after that was basically random.
Yeah, I don't know if I believe random, but just slightly altered the course of what would happen.
Right, exactly. So, so she saved Jake's life for sure, and that's nice.
Yeah.
But, basically everything that happened after that was chain reacting from that.
Yeah, and she definitely ends up evil.
Oh, she's 100% evil. I mean, she basically sleeps with the Antichrist.
Yeah.
So, looking at the list, I'm heading up a little bit because I think I like her more than I like Wesley Crusher.
Yes.
I like her more than I like Deanna Troi.
Yes.
I like her more than I like Lieutenant Naota Uhura. It's tough.
That is tough. I have to say no because like Uhura is interesting in all of her iterations, movies and show.
All right, I can live with that. So coming in at the new number 44 between Lieutenant Uhura and Commander Troi is Kai Winn Adami. All right, so our list is standing at 78 characters. We are definitely circling the drain, as it were.
Out.
Yeah, so we'll see how many more episodes we can get out of this before we have to flip it. And shall we take a break?
All right, yeah. We'll be right back. And we are back talking to you about comics and what's good this week in comics.
Yes, what's mostly good in comics this week?
Yeah, I'd say so.
Mostly good.
Yeah.
Let's start with issue 6 of The Immortal Hulk. That's by Al Ewing, drawn by Lee Garbett. This, cool. I thought, was another pretty cool issue of Hulk. We get Bruce Banner hasn't turned into the Hulk since his fight with Wendigo, right. And is not fully aware of the possession that took place with like the ghost of his dead father, if that's really who that spirit is.
Yeah.
And Hulk's been trying to get out, and we get a couple of cool pages of Bruce attempting to use subconscious, like hand moving, like when you're trying to like let ghosts right through you, in order to communicate with Hulk, because he can't go into like the mental mindscape that he used to be able to get into in order to actually have a conversation with him.
Right.
So I like a lot of that stuff. I do think it's interesting that the reporter plot was completely dropped.
Yeah.
And we get this sequence of, I guess it's the U.S. government. This isn't S.H.I.E.L.D., right? This is some other, or maybe it is S.H.I.E.L.D. I don't remember.
S.H.I.E.L.D.? I couldn't tell who it was.
But they have the ability to basically make you into like some sort of telepath / one of the precogs from Minority Report, where you're like hanging upside down in a room with shit plugged into your head.
Oh, like some kind of monitor.
Right. It's real creepy. And we find out that the guy who's in charge of this operation is obsessed with attempting to create more Hulks, sounds like.
Yeah.
And so he wants to get the original Hulk so that he can study his body, because they did dig out that nuclear guy from issue 2 out of that grave where Hulk left him, and they've been trying to work with him, but he doesn't have the Hulk stuff that they want.
He does not have the Hulk stuff.
And then we get some other Marvel Universe characters showing up, as Carol Danvers shows up and brings the Avengers to bring Bruce down, because she's received an ultimatum that the U.S. government is going to go ahead and take Walter Lankowski, Sasquatch, and experiment on him if they don't hand over Bruce instead.
Yeah, though who knows if that would work, since Hulk drained Lankowski.
Yeah, they probably realize that that's a fact, but they probably think that Carol's more willing to take care of the guy who was more recently on her team.
Yeah, that's true.
And we end with Carol bringing some Avengers, random people. Like, I don't know if this is an official Avengers team right now, with Ghost Rider.
Yeah.
And She-Hulk probably isn't. She just shows up because she's She-Hulk, and she's going to show up in the Hulk comic.
Yeah, that's true.
And Carol Danvers appears to know about Hulk's current situation, where he can only turn into the Hulk if Bruce Banner is killed. And so her threat to him is that, we're definitely not going to kill you, so you're not going to be able to turn into the Hulk.
Yeah.
And his reply is, my secret is, I'm already dead. Which, that seems like it's ripping something off. That's a reference to something.
I'm always angry.
That's what it is. That's what it is. It's even a Hulk thing. That's so funny.
It's a Hulk thing. Yeah, that made me laugh.
So, that was a pretty solid issue. I'd give this one a 7.
7. I'd give it a 6.
A 6?
Yeah.
Alright.
I didn't feel like there was quite enough Hulk in it.
Well, that's
to
true.
give it a 7.
Yeah, he is locked behind the wall, and there's no real fighting in this issue, is there? It's all set up.
Yeah, it's all set up.
Fair enough. All right, moving on. So we get, tell me about Justice League 8 / Legion of Doom 2.
Legion of Doom 2. Is this really only Legion of Doom 2?
Well, yeah, we had only one issue previously where they'd scribbled Legion of Doom over the Justice League logo.
Right. I felt like we had more of those, but...
they definitely were showing up.
Yeah. So, this issue, you get a little bit of, you get a lot of Luthor.
A lot of Luthor again. This is really a Luthor comic, man.
It really is a Luthor comic. It goes into a little bit of the backstory of how Luthor found out about the totality from, I believe the man was Starman.
Yes, the new Starman, who hasn't appeared in this continuity before now.
Yeah, so he captures Starman to find out what he knows and learns what he needs to know from Starman and that's what made him decide to go and build his team with Sinestro and the ultraviolet spectrum and the slow force and all that weirdness that's been going on.
Right, because we still have like 5 other things for him to discover after those two. They never explained why Starman knows these things, right?
Not really. Just like some special totality force came from the sun.
He shot out of it
and hit him.
Oh, right, it hit him. That's what it is.
Yeah, I feel like he was just like some dude on Earth, and like this totality star pulse ran into him, and that gave him all the knowledge he needed. Oh, but it didn't just come out of the totality star pulse. It's a totality that ran into a satellite that shot out a beam that hit him because the satellite couldn't contain all of the information or energy.
Right. All right. So that was 2 pages of this comic.
Yeah, exactly. And then you get a whole bunch of Luthor talking to the Batman who laughs, while the Batman who laughs is chained up in some kind of crazy prison dome thing, with complete confidence saying that he's only chained up because he wants to be, because he's some kind of crazy masochist Batman.
Yeah, and he does have a little needle of dark metal that he apparently was hiding in his mouth somewhere, which probably would have been all he needed to get out, because that shit is a literal deus ex machina.
Yeah. Dark metal.
Yeah.
And a little bit of blood he spits out when he spits out the dark metal. He's pretty gross.
Yeah, he's really disgusting. And it's interesting how regular Joker really doesn't like him and fully considers him to be a Batman.
Yeah, I actually thought that was funny and appropriate.
Yeah.
Like, the Joker is probably not at all cool with any idea of a Batman who laughs.
Yeah, he's ripping off his whole shtick. He's got nothing to teach this Batman.
Yeah, exactly. So it makes sense he'd hate this Batman.
Yeah, absolutely.
And we get a little bit of Black Manta and
Cheetah.
Just Cheetah?
It's just Cheetah.
And that's why I was thinking, but I'm like, he can't just be Cheetah.
This is the main villain of the next Wonder Woman movie, Cheetah.
Cheetah.
I think Cheetah is traditionally, like, that's definitely Wonder Woman's Super Friends enemy, the same way Black Manta is Aquaman's and Luthor's. Everybody's got their supposed arch nemesis of the era. So
that's kind of a shame for Wonder Woman.
Yeah, Cheetah, like, you can say Cheetah's powerful enough to fight Wonder Woman, and we can go, okay, that's cool, but
she's a fast one.
Yeah, I get it. She got claws, rip and tear, but Cheetah.
Yeah, but her and Black Manta take down some humans in this issue.
Yeah, Black Manta is a really, like, emotionless killer.
Yeah, he's pretty cool.
Yeah.
And then they go and they kill Poseidon. Right, at first I thought it was going to be Merlin, but no, it was Poseidon.
Merlin,
which
I
is
like that.
Crazy.
I thought it was going to be Zeus. I was close.
You were very close. Yeah, and that's basically what happened in this issue. The Justice League was there for a little bit. Now they're questioning Starman. Batman appears to be crippled. He's in some kind of metal flying bat chair.
It's a Christopher Pike chair.
It's definitely a Christopher Pike chair.
Like, I feel like he can blink that red bat symbol on his chest once for yes and twice for no.
If he has to.
I'm sure he set it up that way. Why wouldn't he?
No, it's true, just in case.
And I guess the other big revelation of the issue is that it seems like the totality may actually have a personification. Even as Batman is poo-pooing the idea that the totality has a personification, Batman Who Laughs seems to know its name, and we see a little woman appear.
That's true.
In the cube after they leave the room. That is the totality, and it has a little speech bubble.
Yeah, it does.
So, pretty good-looking issue drawn by Mikel Janin. This issue wasn't even actually written by Scott Snyder. This was James Tynion IV, who is basically Scott Snyder's B-hitter.
Tynion IV.
Yeah, he's a real solid comic book writer. Like, he has solid runs on Detective Comics and some other Batman stuff, and he seems to work very well with Snyder, so I'm not surprised why when Snyder needed a month off or whatever the plan was. Because this, when you think about it, this is almost a fill-in issue since it's a different writer and a different artist.
Oh, wow, yeah.
So, but Mikel Janin's art is just, I love it. It's fantastic. I really like Jorge Jimenez on this title usually, and he tends to do a little bit more neon, like a lot more colors happening, a lot more stuff flying around.
That's true.
So what do you think, numbers-wise?
I'd give this a 7.
Give this a 7?
Yeah.
All right, I think I'd give this one a 6.
All right.
Yeah, a lot of conversation and continues to, God, just be so much information. It's just...
That's true. It is...
my God.
Definitely an information dump.
Like, every issue has so much more stuff that he's just cramming in so quickly that I mean, maybe it'll read better when you go back and like read it all collected and real quickly all in order. But as it stands right now, it's you got to hang on to the edge of your seat, man.
That's true. It can get difficult to keep up.
All right, so moving on from Justice League, we head over to the main Batman title, issue 55 of Batman by Tom King. This issue is drawn by Tony Daniel. And it's another Batman Dick Grayson team-up issue, as we see them being the dynamic duo, knocking out crooks and doing general Batman and Robin things, while Robin continues to try to cheer Batman up.
Yeah.
All offset by... long 9-panel grid sequences of the KG Beast showing up in Gotham and going into a diner and setting up a trap and just being all calm and getting ready to execute some sort of plan. And that's pretty much what happens in this issue up until that last page. When you realize what's been happening, and you kind of realize what's happening as it's happening, it's one of those like slow builds where you're like, oh, okay. Like he was in that diner. He did leave a note. Oh, he left a note that definitely would get Batman up to the roof.
Oh man, yeah, it's true. And at first I thought that Batman slapped Dick.
Right.
And it took me a minute to realize what happened right here.
Yeah, because you even get the silenced bullet effect instead of the loud gunshot of any kind. And yeah, man, Dick Grayson, who does not wear a helmet or a cowl or anything. He took a hit to the head. Now, it is definitely in a way where they can later explain it away as like, oh, his head flew to the side and it skimmed off the top. Like
his skull deflects the bullet. That's possible.
Right, you don't see the bullet go in. But, I mean, the idea that KG Beast wouldn't use some sort of caliber of ammunition that would blow up his head.
Through.
Yeah. So, that's a real good cliffhanger, man. You want to know what's going to happen in 2 weeks.
Yeah, if Dick Grayson is just dead now.
Not a chance. Although Dan DiDio has been trying to kill Dick Grayson for like a decade now. So I wouldn't be surprised, really. Although I would be surprised.
Yeah.
Like, Dick Grayson, you just can't. I mean, he's got his own solo title right now. They would have announced its ending or something.
Nobody dies forever.
This is all part of some sort of extended plan. Like, it's the weird extended plan that Bane is doing on Batman to ruin his life. And we're just going to have to see how everything ties together at the end of our 100-issue mega run, if we hang on that long.
100-issue mega run.
So this issue...
That's pretty good.
I don't want to turn into a video game ranking website and give everything between a 7 and a 9.
We've given things 3s and 4s before.
I think that this issue was very competently executed, very well drawn, good stuff happens, excellent cliffhanger. I have to give this one an 8.
An 8? Okay.
This is worth a read if you're a Batman fan.
Worth a read, yeah. I'd give it a 7.
Fair enough.
You know what? I changed my mind. I'm going to give it an 8 too.
Yeah?
Yeah. No, I definitely enjoyed this one more than other Batmans recently.
Yes.
And I liked it more than Justice League.
I liked it more than Justice League. I definitely thought it was better than the last issue of Batman with Dick Grayson as the co-star.
Yeah, this one was better than that one.
And this is definitely setting up like a holy shit, what's going on plot line. So, yeah, good call. All right, so...
moving on, we have the 6th issue of Venom. Is this the first Spawn?
No, this is just Venom.
This is just regular Venom.
Just Venom, baby.
Yeah, and
Donny Cates, Ryan Stegman.
Donny Cates and Ryan Stegman, and both of them in this issue did an amazing job. This is probably some of my favorite art that I've ever seen for Venom in this issue, and the story is just solid. So continuing on from last time, Venom
has absorbed Rex,
and gotten a whole arsenal.
Which is a fantastic
guns page. And like just he stuck like bombs all over his symbiote. He's got like part of the symbiote on his arm is reaching out and holding a blaster. He's got stuff on his back. It's all just like attached with the symbiote flowing over it.
He's War Machine.
Yeah.
Basically. He's like a symbiote war machine.
He is, and it just looks so cool.
It's really great.
And with that, he steps outside to go look for Noel. But no need for that, because Noel is here.
Ooh, that 2-page spread, man.
Yeah, he just jumps down, whole dragon teeth coming straight at Venom.
Venom's holding the mouth open.
and crack-a-boom in rock-textured type as it's blasting through the wall at him.
That's a 2-page.
Yeah, it's just perfect.
The only caption on the page, God is here.
Yeah, so much fun. And so Venom goes with his guns and his Rex symbiote as well, and they fight for a while talking back and forth. It's entertaining stuff. Noel the whole time never loses his arrogance. He's just, you're a part of me. You're using a part of me to try and fight me. That's never gonna work.
Yeah. And
yeah, he takes the Venom symbiote from Eddie.
Right, all the and Rex.
And Rex.
Everything.
Takes it all from Eddie. But hey, there's mines all over the Venom symbiote.
Yep.
Which Eddie then blows up once they're on Null. Great plan. He's
classic.
Bashed to hell though.
Oh yeah, Eddie's messed up.
He is no good. But Null has been weakened as well, and that gives Rex the opportunity to hold him back while Eddie goes to this furnace that happens to be around.
Right. That got lucky.
Yeah, thank goodness for the furnace in the steelworking plant. I guess they probably chose to go and hang out at the steel plant.
It makes sense. Rex is highly strategic.
Yeah.
So he could have even been influencing that plan without blatantly saying it to Eddie.
Yeah, exactly. But Rex, he helps and gets Noel into the furnace.
Yeah, kind of funny because it looks a lot like the way the two symbiotes are fighting in the Venom trailer. Like in that one sequence where we see them doing like the Matrix, like just the symbiotes everywhere with their mouths flailing. And
yeah, it's true. And like a lot of the pages in this with Rex is just like a floating symbiote head on a tendril talking to Eddie. It's great.
I love. He has such a different look.
Yeah, it's like a lighter bluish.
He's almost like a Martian Manhunter look.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, like skinny.
Right.
Yeah, but they both go into that furnace, Null and Rex, and Eddie holds it closed and tells his symbiote to
get out of the way.
Well, go inside him,
right,
and dampen his pain receptors because the symbiote can't take the heat, and it can barely take the amount of pain that Eddie's going through as he holds this door shut to this steelworking plant.
Right, which we don't even know if this actually is going to successfully kill Null. This just kills the Grendel.
This, it definitely kills the Grendel. It might not kill the Null. And, after it's done, Eddie crashes to the ground. I mean, he's barely alive, and the symbiote, it leaks out of him, and it's gone.
It's gone. He can't hear it. He's surrounded by a black pool of liquid that dripped out of his mouth where the symbiote was hiding.
Yeah, it's just so sad.
It's heartbreaking. And I know we're going to get another issue of Venom next month, and he'll probably be Venom again in the near future. But what a capper on that first arc, man.
Yeah, really.
That's a solid 6-issue trade paperback you can put in somebody's hand and say, this new Venom comic is one of the best Venom comics ever.
Yeah,
one of the best Marvel comics recently released.
Yeah.
It's everything that Marvel hasn't been doing lately with a lot of their books. It's action-packed. It's got great art.
Yeah, it draws on old mythology.
Right, integrates other parts of the Marvel. Like Thor is now part of the Venom story thanks to this arc.
Yeah.
What rank would you give this issue of Venom?
I would give this issue of Venom a 10.
I concur. Yeah. I think that this issue, and in fact this series,
yeah,
like for this day and age, this is a 10 level comic. This, in my opinion, is the best thing that Marvel Comics is putting out right now.
Hands down. I mean, it is amazing. The art and the story. Every issue,
the color,
straight out of the park.
like the color is fantastic.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
it looks so great. Like everything about it is just wonderful. I can't say enough good things. Like pick this up if your comic book store still has it. Pick up the trade when that comes out.
Yep.
It's good stuff.
Yeah, no, for sure. That's as good as it gets.
All right, so the last thing is something that only I read. So we did finally get issue 11 of Mr. Miracle. This is 11 out of 12, so we are rapidly approaching the end of this maxi series.
Yeah.
And I have been sort of lightly complaining about the last few issues with not enough happening and too long portions spent on repeated art and long conversations that might not actually end up being about anything except for how sort of depressed Tom King might be.
Right.
But this issue, man. So this is the issue. This is Mr. Miracle and Big Barda are taking their son Jack to Darkseid to give him over to him to end the war. And but as we know from last issue, the real plan is for them to fake the handoff so that Scott can attempt to kill Darkseid. So they do solve some weird comedy take bits, like this page of Darkseid eating carrots from a dessert or a vegetable tray, dipping it in the ranch and crunching angrily.
Oh.
And they make their exchange, and they hand over the kid to Darkseid. And in exchange, Darkseid, even though he cannot unlearn the anti-life equation in his knowledge, and there's nothing he can do about that, Darkseid tears out his left eye and hands it over, because with how both of his eyes, he cannot activate his Omega beams and therefore not use the anti-life equation.
Oh.
So that's the trade. Barda immediately destroys the eye after the trade-off, and they stall a little bit. Scott asks if he can say goodbye to his kid, gets down, gives him a hug, and says, "Honey, I've got him," and hops out of the way. And Barda picks up the stroller, which it turns out is connected to, it's a weapon attached to the Miracle Machine, which I believe is the Miracle Machine from the end of Final Crisis that Superman used to recreate reality.
Huh?
And they were going to use it to create a trap that Scott Free could escape from, but there was the one thing that they could never effectively create a trap he could escape from with because it was so deadly. And they zap Darkseid with it real good, and it doesn't really work.
It doesn't really work, huh?
No, Darkseid reacts to it, and he beats down Big Barda, and he beats down Scott Free, and it looks like he's about to kill them both and take the kid. But luckily Scott has saved a blade for this. It's a Farad knife, which, if you remember, way back in issue 5 or 6, when Mr. Miracle's kid was born, they had to use a special knife made from god flesh in order to cut the umbilical cord.
Okay.
And this is a knife like that, except Mr. Miracle made it out of the flesh of Orion, the son of Darkseid, who was prophesied to be the only one who could kill Darkseid.
Oh, wow.
So Darkseid dies.
Dang.
And then Metron shows up, the one new god we have not seen so far in this series, who is like the amoral one whose only quest is for knowledge and will do anything to achieve that end. And he delivers a weird, creepy monologue as reality begins to break down. And we once again get a nice double-page spread of Metron saying there is another world, and we see it looks like all the regular DC Universe characters popping out of an explosion. Which, it's a great page.
That is nice.
I guess that's letting us know that what we've been seeing hasn't been the world where these superheroes exist.
Yeah.
And, we are, as Metron grins evilly, looking nothing less than he super looks like Grant Morrison in Metron's, look at that evil face.
That's hilarious.
And, that's it. We're going to see next issue what it's all about. We'll see if Tom King has managed to land an all-time classic or if it's going to be a long, boring dud.
Well, it seems like it ramped up fairly well this issue. Darkseid is no more.
Ooh, good one. I do predict that even after the next issue, I'll still be of the opinion that this should have been like an 8-issue series. So,
that's fair.
But we'll see. Maybe something so crazy and revealing will happen that all of those issues that seemed like filler at the time will be suddenly loaded with new context. I would give Mr. Miracle number 11 a 9.
A 9? All right, still pretty good.
Yeah.
Well, still very good.
Still very good. This is one of the top things that DC Comics is putting out right now. I can't really think of a DC book that I'm more into. Whether or not I think it's excellent is not the same as what I'm talking about. It's more the most interesting, I guess.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, ever since Batman White Knight ended, anyway.
Oh, man, that was a good one.
All right, so that's what we had for the week.
That's the LAAGCast.
All right, thanks for checking us out, folks. Leave a message, leave a comment. If you have a vote on what sort of franchise or character grouping we should rank, drop us a line. If we know about them and we think it's a good idea, maybe we'll do it.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, so we will see you next week.